Hey kids, it's your teacher Jay, Mr. J, Professor J Johnson, and I'm back. And today we're going to be talking about change, not change like a frog or a tadpole turn into a frog or a caterpillar turn into a butterfly. But when I mean change, I'm like going to the grocery store and your mama got a bunch of stuff for you and trying to buy a change, okay? So what I need you to do is really zone in, focus, and let's get this thing done. I normally have something funny to say, but today I'm going to say something that's really important, really close to my heart. It's about fear. When I was a kid, I would always get afraid of things and have little issues with things, and my father would always tell me, don't let fear dictate your actions. And it was like one of the main things he said, so much so where he even put it on his shirt, don't let fear dictate your actions. That means when something is scary to you or something is like a little frightening, that means that you should think, you should realize that, hey, I should take caution here or not caution there. So you need to think, and we're living in kind of scary times, but you have to understand that I'm not gonna let the fact that I'm afraid of something dictate what I'm doing. So I have to think, use my brain, but I don't let fear control me, okay? That's important for you. Put that one in your pocket. If you don't get it now, let's get to this work. So today we're going to be working on these change questions. I want you to think about one thing before I get started, which is this is a video. And I know sometimes you wish you could put me on pause in class, which some of you have even done, I think. Try to play the little pause game. But here, you can pause the video. So as I'm going through this, if you are looking at this problem, I'm going to give you a second. Just pause the video. Try to work the problem out yourself if you feel comfortable with change questions. And then you can come back, watch the video, and see if you did the steps right and if you got the answer correct, okay? Here we go. John bought 3 apples for $3.89. He then bought 5 pounds of grapes for $16.28. He paid for these items with $25. How much change did he receive? So there's no picture, no graph, so we need to be using a problem-solving plan. I'll put PSP right here. If you don't know the problem-solving plan, or I feel like I'm kind of going through it quickly here, I have a separate video. I'll put the link below. You can go ahead and watch that video. It'll break down and show you how to do the problem-solving plan. You probably won't need to if you're from my class, but if you're someone else watching this, you might want to take the time to do that if you're interested, okay? So here we go. So we set up our problem-solving plan. I borrowed this from a great teacher I used to work with, Quarter Pounder Fries Shake, okay? That just stands for question, plan, facts, and then solve. And even though we do it Quarter Pounder Fries Shake, you actually go up to down, and you'll see in a minute. So the question was, how much change did he receive? You normally would underline that. I already did that for you, in part because this is like tape number, I don't even know what. So the question here is how much change? That's the basic question. We never want to write more than 3 or 4 words here. I don't want the problem-solving plan is not something that suck up all your time. It's really just a plan to help you think. So we have how much change. The next thing we're going to do are the facts. So in this case, we have 3 apples for $3.89. It does not say 3 apples for $3.89 each or a piece. It means that all 3 apples cost this amount. So we'll write $3.89 equals A for apples. The next thing we'll do is we'll go forward. It says 5 pounds for grapes, 5 pounds of grapes for $16.28. So we have $16.28. That actually equals our grapes. The very last important fact we have is there's $25. That's how much we're giving them to pay for our items. So we'll say $25. That is like the total or the amount paid, okay? So we would actually, I'll just use paid for this one, okay? We'll say paid, PD for paid. Now, in this section, the plan section right here, I'm going to use 2 different plans. The first plan I'm going to use on this first problem is the one that's kind of the preferred plan to use, especially if you're just starting with these change questions, if you're at the beginning of 4th grade, or maybe the change questions have always been hard for you. The plan that I'm going to give you here is the best way to use it. Once you get a little bit better, you get a little more savvy, we can use the different plan strategy that I'll show over there. But in this case, we have to understand that we're going to add and then we're going to subtract. So we're going to need 2 different plans here to show that. And what do I mean by that? Let me just give you a very simple example. Let's say you're going to the store and you decide you're going to buy a banana. It costs $1. You're going to buy a small orange. It costs $1, and you're also going to buy a bag of chips that costs $1. Okay, you pay with a $5 bill. How much change are you going to receive back from that cashier after you pay for your items? Right, you're going to receive $2 back. The reason is because you paid for something that cost $1, and then you had to add that amount plus another $1, and then you had to add that amount plus the last $1. That was the banana, the orange, and then the chips. Those three items cost $3 all together, which means you add them together. And then you had to subtract 5, which was the total that you had, or the amount you were paying, minus those $3. So that right there is really a simple breakdown of how all change question works. It doesn't matter if I have to multiply or combine numbers in a different way. At the start, I have to add up the total value of everything I have, and then I subtract it from the total. So that is one of our immortal techniques, which is to solve a simpler problem. What I did was I showed you a simpler problem to help you think it through, and now what we're going to be able to do is it's going to make the rest of this a little simpler, okay? And just for the record, I'll make another video about this at a later time because it kind of goes into a different teak. But if there was actually 3 apples and they were $3.89 each, which means I had to multiply 3 times $3.89, in that case, that's kind of like it's really to do that right there is more like 5th grade. But if I did that, it would still be the same basic idea, right? I still would be adding $3.89 3 times or multiplying it, and then I still have to add it together plus this other item before I do the subtraction of my total. So don't think that these problems really get more complicated. They really don't. It's just combine everything I paid for at the store. I had to buy at the store, and then I subtract it minus the amount I paid. All right, here we go. So we're going to show you a model for adding these. So if I'm adding, I always have a total that I don't know. Then we also had a smaller amount here, which was $3.89. And we had the $16.28 right here. That right there, that will give us the total amount when we add that together. And then we'll be able to take whatever the sum is, and we'll be able to plug it into this for subtraction. The subtraction will be the total amount that we had, which is the $25. We'll be subtracting that minus whatever we get for the sum for the first one. And then what we'll have left is what's called the change right over here. So even though I don't know what to put there yet, I will know once I've done this addition step. So now that I have this together, let's go ahead and do the addition step here. $16.28, $3.89. I'm going to add that together. If you need to remember how to add decimals, I'll put the link to that below. But whenever I'm adding decimals, I'll put the decimal here first. And then I'll add the items together. So I have 8 plus 9, that's going to give me 17. That's going to give me 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11. That's going to give me 7, which is another 10. And that's going to give me $20.17. This $20.17 can make its way now there. $20.17. Now what I'm going to do is subtract this amount. $25 minus $20.17. Perfect. I'll put the link to subtracting decimals below this as well. But if I'm subtracting decimals, I always put my decimal in the difference first. Then I'll go ahead and subtract. 0 minus 7. Can't do that. Have to regroup. There's nothing there. Have to regroup. There we go. We'll get a 4 here. That will make that a 10. But I need it over here. So I'm going to make this a 9. That will make that a 10. 10 minus 7. It's going to give me a 3. 9 minus 1. That will give me an 8. 4 minus 0. That will give me a 4. My answer is $4.83 is the change I'll receive back after buying the 3 apples and the 5 pounds of grapes. So that would be the first problem. If I wanted to check this, I'm not going to check it because I'm Mr. J, Professor J. You're a math teacher. I know my math is correct. But if you wanted to check and it's also because I've done this like 3 times filming this video, so I know the math is correct. But for you, if you want to check that, remember you can always check adding and subtracting by adding together one of the add-ins plus the the subtrahend, and you can add that together plus the difference, and it should give you the minuend at the start, okay? So I should be able to add $20.17 plus $4.83, and it should give me $25. If you want to go ahead and try that, go ahead and pause the video and try that there. You'll be able to see the math is correct. If I would have got a different number here, if I did my subtraction wrong, it would not give me the $25. Okay, that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next problem. Our next problem, Melody spent $2.25 for cookies, $6.88 for a pie. She already had 3 pies at home. How much change would she get back if she paid with a $10 bill? Hold on, what? She's buying another pie and she got 3 pies at the house? She's like a 4-pie type of girl. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she's like the girl Mr. Johnson, because you guys know I like to eat a lot. So maybe she's like the girl Mr. Johnson. I don't know. So anyway, that's what we have here. I'm going to pause the video, or you can pause the video if you like, and you can go ahead and try to solve this yourself. Okay? All right. Now, if you did pause the video and worked it out, great. If you didn't, let's go ahead and go through this regardless. So we have set up our problem solving plan. Quarter pounder, fries, shake. Remember, we're going to do a different plan over here. Our question, we underlined it already. It's still going to be how much change. Okay? I don't need to write how much change with the $10. I don't have to write that. How much change? That's all I need to know. $2.25. That would be the cookies. $6.88. That would be the pie. Do I need to calculate the pies that are at home? No, I do not. And this is something to be very cognizant of, which means to think about it, okay? Because this is what's called a distractor. It has nothing to do with the problem, but they include it in there. I included this in here just so you can see, because your problem that you have, your My Student, the assignment that goes with this, there are actually going to be problems that have things there that you don't need to solve the problem, okay? So you want to make sure you skip over those and only pull out the important facts that help you answer the question, okay? So in this case, those 3 pies at home, it's irrelevant. It does not matter. But what does matter, though, is that she's going to pay for it with a $10 bill. So we're going to write this one out, pies, and then we'll say this is what she paid right here, okay? We'll come over here, and I'll show you we're going to do a different plan, so let's do the different plan. For this different plan, check it out. We're going to actually say the total amount here, we're going to go ahead and put it there. What we're going to do is do one plan that's the adding and the subtracting, okay? So we know we need to change over here. We also know that we have the $2.25 plus the $6.88. The reality is, if I added the change plus these 2 amounts that we learned about, the cookies and the pies, it will give me the $10. I know that because this line right here actually represents an equal sign, okay? So that's going to give me the $10. So what that means is this right here is going to be the add right here. And then when I'm done, I'll do the 10 minus that amount will give me the change. So the subtract will be the second step. So this down here in my solving, there's going to be no change in this. But I did make a change in my plan, so I could just kind of streamline it in one strip diagram model rather than 2. So right here, I'm adding these up. I have $6.88, $2.25, adding them together. 8 plus, before I do that, let me put my decimal in the sum. I have 8 plus 5, that's going to give me a 13. That's going to give me 9, 10, 11. That's going to be 6 plus 1 is 7, 8, 9. $9.13. Now I see that this is $9.13. I could put it here like that to represent, hey, I know that's the combined total of these 2 amounts. That doesn't matter if I have 2 items, 3 items, 10 items. They all have to be combined together before I subtract to find the change. So when I'm finding the change, I'll do $10 minus $9.13. Put the decimal in the difference. There is a different way you can do this subtraction when you have a whole, like an even number like this with just 10 across. You can actually just change it up a little bit and then subtract and add something back. People do it, some of my students do it, and you do it really well, but I'm not going to show that in this video, okay? So we're going to subtract $10 minus $9.13. I'm going to borrow here, or regroup here, regroup there, got 0. This is going to be a 10, but I need to actually make that a 9 because I need it here. That's a 10, but I need to make that a 9 because I need it here. So it would be 10 minus 3, it's going to give me 7. 9 minus 1 is 8. And then I have 9 minus 9, which is 0, and of course 0 is there. So I have $0.87 is the change I will receive back. I could also write it 87 cents just like that. I hope this video was helpful, guys. If you have any questions, I'll put that link below. So there should be a few links below: adding, subtracting decimals, problem solving plan for those who needs to see that one, and then lastly I'll do the question link if you need to ask questions. If you are not my student and you're watching this video and you want to ask questions, you can do that, but if you want to reply, you need to just include your email in that question link. I hope it was great. Professor J signing out.